All writers have different rituals to get the juices going, so I won't tell you how I start my writing day. Anyway, writing is kind of like making sausage. If you see what goes into it, you won't eat it. But I will answer one common question and give you 3 key pointers that you won't hear from anyone else. Here's the question. People always ask if they should get an MFA or even a college degree in order to write a novel. Here's the answer. The only advantage to getting an education is for other people. For 4 years, they know where you are. For 4 years, you aren't having any adventures, because if someone knows where you are not having an adventure. Here's the deal. Everything that is ever going to happen to you has happened to you before you were 25. That sense of urgency and newness. That's what a novel is all about. So if you're not yet 25, pay attention. You can write a novel if you start now. When you're young, have adventures. If you are over 25 and you did the regular thing of going to college, getting a job, and having kids, and now you want to write about your boring life in your makeshift office at night after everyone's asleep, sorry, the novel of middle-aged Anime has been written to death, and better than you could ever do it. But you still have hope. I'll get to that later. My first big adventure was getting a crush on an older Spanish man, Frankie, a friend of my father's. He wore a fedora, smoked a cigar, and had a mouthful of gold fillings. When I found out he beat his wife, I spent a lot of time trying to figure out what she did wrong. My erotic fascination with older Spanish men has found its way into my new novel. This is my Uncle Paulie. He ran away with the circus when he was 17. I take after him. At 17, I ran away to work at a boat show. My first job was sitting on yachts so guys would buy them. I was good at sitting still and looking pretty, so I was promoted to log roller. That didn't last long. One of the characters in my new novel, Windstorm, rides a log down the river and out of town, so it paid off in the end. All these dead-end jobs really do pay off in material later. So my second piece of advice is, if you're a ne'er-do-well, a slacker, if you can't see your life going in any productive direction, for God's sakes, take a lot of notes. You're probably a writer. Then I joined the U.S. Army and went to Europe, and I broadened my horizons even more, doing a little of this and a little of that. Let's just say, I took a lot of notes.
Isn't that bad?
And after a long time, I came back to my hometown. Everything had changed, of course. The steel mill where my dad worked had become a gambling casino. The sewing mill where my mom worked as a young woman was a halfway house for indigents. The Toad Bar, where I tried to sneak in when I was 16, and where the local motorcycle gang hung out, had changed first into a wine-tasting bar, then into a methadone clinic. Change. Everything had changed, is still changing, especially me. Sometimes I don't even recognize myself. And so my last piece of advice is for those people over 25 who want to write a novel. You've changed, tumbled, and landed on your feet. Or maybe not, but now you can make sense of it. Change is what my novel Nude Walker is all about. A city in change. Some of the people who live there are humbled, some are made whole, some are stripped naked. Some become more than they ever dreamed. Some vanish. Nothing and nobody stays the same. Visit my website to find out more about me and my book, and sign up for the premiere of How to Write a Novel Part 2, Forbidden Love.